What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And we're filming things in my little downstairs workshop today because it's too hot in the attic. And this right here is our Mark IV backplate, which we are disassembling currently. You can see where I kind of made the issue of destroying my fan. I didn't have my soldering iron handy, so I used a bunch of glue to fix it. Mark IV. And I actually ended up printing Mark V, which is a little bit nicer version. The print came out kind of ugly there, but we have this nice bump out for like gripping, which is super nice. But then I went ahead and X-nayed that, and we're skipping this. This is like a Mark 4.1, and that's a no because we went ahead and continued redesigning, and now we're here at a full-fledged Mark V, and the Mark V has rear buttons. It came to me right before bed one night of how to do this button situation. It was so simple, I kind of felt stupid about it, and I can show you how simple of a fix it is. As soon as I remove some of this trees look pretty freaking cool, huh? Look at that. Looks like a legit tree. Damn, this thing printed so much better than the other one. So I changed my nozzle from a 0.6 to a back to a 0.4 for this print, and the quality came out really good. That smaller nozzle is just great for this type of detail. I used a larger nozzle for what I use my printers for, but man, this thing is working out very well. That actually printed very good. This fan should fit like no problem. I made sure there's quite a bit more space. I think I almost a full millimeter all the way around. Yep, not even the slightest problem. There you go. Look at that. See, you live and you slowly start to learn. So the way this thing works, it's pretty nifty. I realize the rear buttons are just these little buttons here, and I was like, yo, all you really need to do is have a surface to press down on it. So I went ahead and printed these little flaps here, and I tested it real quick earlier off camera, and you can, I don't know, you can't hear that, but it's actually pressing the button, so it's actually a rear button now. So what we need to do with this is we need to put some type of glue here and right here, or some type of surface here, so that we can hit these buttons a little bit better. I just wasn't sure where the buttons were per se, but definitely can hit them now independently, so they work. And what we could do is just print little actual buttons on the top here, and as we press those buttons down, we can actually hit the button on the controller. Another big thing on the Mark V is we have these braces here. I went ahead and modeled these out so that it keeps the rigidity of this corner, because we have a lot of issues with this corner caving in on this side, especially when you grip the Steam Deck. So we took care of that problem. So what we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna kind of take our time. We're gonna kind of shim this out a little bit. We need to add a little bit surface area to this. I just wasn't sure about the placement. I wanted to see if these things kind of flex pretty well. These things could potentially break because they're printed this direction, so, and we're flexing it forwards and back, so we could potentially snap this, but it's pretty thick, and if we put a little shim there, the flexion, the amount of this has to flex to hit that button should be super minimal, but overall we should be able to have our rear buttons again. And obviously we have this big opening here on the side, which just will become another air gap or air intake, which doesn't matter because we have air intake there anyways. But it will be on a later design, we can head and fill that in and figure out what we're going to do for these button situations. I think the button situations are going to be pretty simple. I think the fact that this works already, all we're going to have to do is, I actually have the actual buttons, we could literally cut them and then just place them on here, and then we could just, it's pretty simple fix. But yeah, that's kind of where we are at. We're gonna do some testing and some seeing how this fits, and then we'll have our rear buttons. All right, we're back here in our main workshop. We got the buttons fitting pretty good, and as you can see, this one's a little off, but these three are great. It's pretty good though. Maybe you can hear it. Still a little clicky, and that clickiness is these edges. I thought those joints I put in would help quite a bit, but it doesn't look like they really are. They're somewhat helping, but I think what we need to do is we just need to beef up this whole corner. We need to beef all this up, because that's a problem. One good note is the fan fit no problem. Still got quite a bit of buildup on the side here. We can always sand that down. But what we have right now is we have our buttons, and they're pretty freaking simple. We're just gonna glue them to the top here, and then they become our buttons. So the only problem with using this hot glue is it does make it a little like higher than it was designed. Oh, we should put the glue on here. I like the different colors. That looks pretty sick. Oh guys, we figured out the whole button layout situation. So we're gonna power this bad boy on. All right, that's working. Let's get some power into this. Bada bing, bada boom. It's not as bad as it was before. God, it's actually easier to hold now with these rear buttons. There we go. All right, so what game would use the rear buttons? Is Tiny Tina saved on... That thing takes forever to load. God, look at that. Isn't that just a beautiful thing? Yes, we have all these wires and whatnot, but we got our rear buttons now. We got our fan mod put in. We have a external cooling solution that works magically. We got a heatsink here, fan. We can make this even bigger if we wanted. 80 mil. Like, we can put a huge fan on here, but ultimately, this doesn't look bad. This is gonna be on the thumbnail. We did it. Look at that. This one is probably the one. Yeah, it feels good. Buttons feel good. We need to test if they work. All right. Oh, okay, cool. So this is the scope down. Now if we press this, we scope down now. And then this is shoot. And then this is shoot. So buttons work. Scope. Let me try to shoot and fight. It's really hard to... So one thing I'm noticing, it's like really hard to kind of press these buttons. Not really hard, it's just, there's like the throw. There's like an actual button to press, and the throw is kind of intense. Yeah, it's not too hard to play. So one thing I'm noticing...
Poppy here. Just want to say, if you like this type of content, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. And let's get back to the video.
Couple things. This other fan, once it gets up to speed, it's louder. It is very much louder than the other fan. But it is what it is, man. What are you gonna expect? At this point, anything external is gonna make a lot more noise. So let's just unplug that for now. It's not louder than JSOX fan. If you guys want to hear the JSOX fan here. Not louder than the JSOX fan, but still pretty loud. Definitely gaming with headphones at this point. So yeah, buttons work great. So there's a couple of issues that we have here. It's our fulcrum point. So there's two ways to fix this. So it's a little hard to press. So there's two things you can do. You can increase the fulcrum point going in ways. So maybe this slit would be over here, or we could increase the throw. So by increasing the throw, meaning basically we're just gonna pop out these buttons. These buttons are gonna be more protrude out more, so they won't finish at a right angle. So they'll probably go straight up for a bit, and then 45-degree over to the edge here. I think because pressing them here is hard. It's easy to press up top. So what we're gonna have to do is probably maybe half circles. I do like the look of these right angles though. What we could actually do is just make them slightly taller. A little bit taller. I don't know. It works though. The stock ones are better for sure, but these feel better in hand. And for a person who does not like, who rarely uses rear buttons, like, you probably only need these for, like, I don't know what games, but I never use these rear buttons. And the only reason I like the JSOX backplate the most was because the way these rear buttons were, oh man, they felt good to hold them. It just felt so good to hold them. Like in hand, it felt good. These actually feel pretty good. Like, I wouldn't say they feel better, but they feel really good. All right, so there you go, guys. We were here. We did it. We got rear buttons. We got a good cool external cooling solution. I think this needs a little bit more compression, to be honest. This needs to be like really pushed down in there. It's a very cool cooling solution. I actually do like the black fan more. We got the rear buttons. We still do have this crazy seam here. And it's one of two things. We either cover up the seam, or we don't do anything about it. And I'm thinking without this dongle, I can go ahead and cover up the seam pretty easy. Not easily, but not too bad. So on the next version of this, which is probably going to be the final form of this iteration of the Steam Deck, all the mods that I think will work the best and are the easiest to do. So for this, all you need is a fan and a heatsink, and that's it, really. So it doesn't get any easier than that. You might need some thermal pads for the thermal pad mod, and some thermal paste for this fan. But you know, all that stuff is relatively inexpensive, and you're at the point where you're gonna go ahead and do stuff like this already. You know, you might as well just pick up some of those things. Definitely at least the heatsink and stuff. But other than that, guys, oh man, it's been, you know, we've been working on this for a little bit over a month, but almost closer to 2 months now, actually. And we're there. We got a working Steam Deck, fully functional. This one's getting a little hot. I think it's because this heatsink might not be sitting very properly on there. We've been moving it around quite a bit. And there's not as much compression as there was in the previous version. But yeah, I'm very happy where we are. We got the rear buttons. That was the hardest part. The only issue that we still have is this problem here. And I think I can fix that with just a little bit more reinforcement on this outside edge. I think this one's perfect. So it's just this side now. So we'll fix that. We're going to fix that. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you already haven't, don't forget to hit that like button. And, you know, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments below, or maybe possibly an idea to add on this that you think that this thing is missing. Wow, that's a lot smoother than before. Yeah, looks good. Love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.